slit in an infinite conducting plane. So in the last class, we have discussed about the Huygens principle, and we have formulated the Huygens principle in the form of equivalence theorem. Then the equivalence theorem is modified by assuming that the field which presents inside the closed volume is 0, that is called Low's equivalence theorem. And this technique is going to be used to compute the electric and magnetic field induced by the source electric and magnetic field, especially in the aperture type antennas. Then those electric and magnetic fields at the source are modeled as electric current density and the magnetic current density by using the equivalence theorem. Say in the Js, surface current density Js is modeled as a magnetic field over the aperture, that is written by Js equals n cap cross h of s. Similarly, the electric field over the aperture, the tangential form of the electric field over the aperture minus n cap cross E of s is modeled as ms. This is called the magnetic current density. Once we formulate the tangential electric and magnetic field over the aperture as the corresponding current densities Js and ms, the next step is we have to compute the A potential and another one potential F. After computing the A and F, the next step is we can compute the corresponding total electric field due to the potential A and due to the potential F, and then we can compute the H at the far distance. So this is the procedure we have formulated in our earlier class to compute the electric and magnetic field at a far distance from the source electric and magnetic field in the aperture antenna. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the applications of the equivalence theorem to compute the electric and magnetic field at far distance. For that, we have taken a slit in an infinite conducting plane. It is an infinite conducting plane which is placed on the xy plane. Along the x-axis, the plate is extended to infinity. Along the minus x-axis, the plate is extended minus infinite distance. Similarly, the plate is extended at plus or minus y-axis also in infinite extent. Therefore, there is a infinite extent conductive plane or plate on which we have made a slit. So this is the slit. The slit which has a finite dimension of L. So L is the gap distance of the slit, where this point can be represented as L by 2 and the lower edge can be represented as minus L by 2, because we have taken the center point or middle of the slit as our reference. So this is our reference 0. So from this, the upper edge is noted as L by 2 and the lower edge is noted by minus L by 2. So in this plane of infinite extent on the xy coordinate system, there is a slit which is along the direction of y, which has the finite dimension of L. Now, a electric field is incident from the left side of the plane or this plate. So there is an electromagnetic wave which is traveling from the left side of this plane is like this, where the electric field on the electromagnetic wave is oriented along the y-axis. So the EI is the incident plane wave, where the EA is the incident electric field. Now this electric field fills the gap, that is the slit. Therefore the slit is filled by the incident electric field. Over the aperture, we are calling this field as EA. E is the electric field, A for aperture. So this electric field is filling over the aperture as EA. So here we are going to compute the pattern of radiation. This is our aim. How to compute the pattern of radiation? The first thing is we have to find the source. Here the source is electric field. So this source electric field will be modeled its corresponding magnetic current density. Afterwards, we have to compute the integral. Then we have to compute the electric and magnetic field by using the Maxwell's equations or the relationship in the radiation integrals. So the physical optics approximation leads us to assume that the incident field is EI, which is oriented along the y-axis. Therefore, it is a y cap. It is a unit vector which refers the direction of electric field, and E0 is the amplitude of the electric field, and assume that the amplitude of the electric field is uniform over the slit. That means everywhere this electric field amplitude is same. That one is represented as E0. Now the electric field is traveling through the slit, and which is traveling across it and traveling in the positive Z axis. So this electric field is coming from the left hand side of the plate. Now and then it fills the electric field over the slit. Afterwards, it passes the slit and traveling along the positive Z axis. So the direction of electromagnetic wave propagation is positive Z axis, and the electric field is oriented along y axis. So we know from the equivalence theorem and Huygens principle, we can compute the electric and magnetic field beyond the surface or the closed volume, whereas inside the volume this electric field cannot be computed by using this technique. So the direction is represented here in a spherical coordinate system. So in the spherical coordinate system, let us say it is a sphere of radius r, which encloses the aperture or the slit. In this case, the slit. Let us assume that the slit is placed at the origin of the sphere. So the radiator is placed at the origin of the sphere, and the sphere has the radius of r. At r, we are going to compute the electric and magnetic field which is induced by the field on the slit. That one is represented by e raised to minus j beta r. There is a phase shift, or it refers the wave is propagating along the positive r direction in a spherical coordinate system. So this is the electric field associated with the plane wave propagating in the positive z directions, renders the field over the physical aperture. So over the physical aperture, the field can be represented mathematically as from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2, that is lower and upper edge of the slit, the electric field amplitude is 0, that is uniform electric field. So this electric field is existing this way, whose value is 0. That is represented here mathematically as EA, aperture electric field, equals y cap. The direction of electric field is along the y axis. E0 is its magnitude over the region minus L by 2 to plus L by 2, which is represented as modulus of y less than or equals L by 2, where Z is 0, because the Z is 0 plane on the slit itself. Elsewhere, there is no field is existing, is 0. If any field existing over the other portion of other than the slit region, where the electric field becomes 0, because the tangential component on electric field on the perfect perfect electric conductor is 0. Since this electric field is impinging on the plate tangentially, therefore the electric field is existing over the region, that is over the gap of length L, whereas over the plate, on the plate the electric field is 0. So this is the electric field. On the plate it is 0, above the slit, and below the slit also the plate is there also the electric field is 0. So the electric field only is existing in between the gap or the slit. Therefore over minus L by 2 plus L by 2 it is existing. Elsewhere the electric field is 0, because of the boundary condition E tan equals 0. So this is the problem formulation. The magnetic current formulation is appropriate in this case, because the aperture electric field is 0 over the perfectly conducting portion of the aperture surface. This is essentially a one-dimensional problem, because the aperture field is uniform in the x direction. Then the radiation fields will not change with position along the x direction. We are thus concerned only with the xy plane, phi equals 90 degree. Let us say the xy plane where the pi is 90 degree. So the pi is measured from the z axis. So at the z axis the pi is 0 degree. At x axis it will be 90 degree. So here the pi equals 90 degree. So at pi is 90 degree, that refers the xy plane. And the field is uniform along the x axis, because the electric field is oriented along the y axis, and this electric field is constant in amplitude over the entire slit. Therefore, with respect to x axis, the amplitude is not getting changed. Therefore, it is uniform along the x axis. Now the current is here magnetic current, because we are going to model the electric field as its corresponding current, that is magnetic current density. Now there are two integrals normally we have to evaluate. One is P integral, another one is Q integral. So the P integral is corresponds to the electric field, and Q integral is corresponds to the magnetic field, or the P integral is corresponds to the magnetic current density, whereas Q integral is correspond to current electric current density. In this case, only the magnetic current density is existing. There is no electric current density is existing. Therefore, we have to compute only the P integral, where the Q integral is vanished. Therefore, the P integral, which has two parts, one is its x component, another one is its y component, because the P integral is a vector which has here two component x and y. So, therefore, we have to compute both Px and Py, where the EAX, that is aperture electric field, x component of the aperture electric field is corresponds to x component of P integral. Therefore, Px equals is a double integral of EAX of x prime y prime, and x prime y prime represents the points are pertaining to source, multiplied by e raised to j beta x prime sin theta cos phi plus y prime sin theta cos phi sin phi dx prime and dy prime. It is a double integral. Similarly, we have to evaluate the y component of P integral as Py, which is corresponds to the y component of electric field EAY. In this case, EAX is the x component of electric field, EAY is the y component of the electric field. So, in our problem, we have only y component, because the electric field which has only the y component which is oriented along the y axis. There is no x component present in the electric field. Therefore, we have to compute only the P integral for y component, that is Py. Here the Px no need to compute. The reason is the electric field along the x axis is 0. Therefore, it's a double integral of 0 times something is 0. Therefore, Px is not existing. So, only we have to compute the integral for Py. Now, the P which has only one component, that is Py y cap, therefore y cap integral of now this is a one dimensional problem, because we know that the electric field is existing over the x axis which is uniform, that is same amplitude, which is oriented along the y axis. Therefore, the integral over minus L by 2, that is the lower edge. So, it is minus L by 2 plus L by 2. So, the integral that we have to take over this range. Therefore, minus L by 2, and the electric field is E0 and e raised to j beta y cap. So, this one here we know that the pi is 0. Therefore, the pi is 90 degree. So, the pi is 90 degree, that means which refers the xy plane. If you put the pi is 90 degree, then this component will be existing, this component will be 0. When you put pi is 90 degree, cos pi becomes 0, whereas here sin pi is maximum 1. Therefore, e raised to j beta y prime sin theta dy prime, because it is a one dimensional problem where the limit is along the y axis. Now, you solve the integral, it will be e raised to j theta. So, when you take the integral, it will becomes e raised to j theta y, same thing, sin theta divided by j beta sin theta. Now apply the upper and lower limit. Upper limit is L by 2 minus lower limit is minus L by 2. So this will be, let it be a e raised to j beta. The limit is L by 2 sin theta minus e raised to this lower limit minus j beta L by 2. This is sin theta whole divided by this one j beta sin theta. Now we can write this as we multiple the L up and down. So we can write as beta L. Okay. So when we do multiple L up and down, then we multiple the then it will be e raised to j theta minus e raised to minus j theta divided by j. So it is e power j theta minus e raised to minus j theta divided by 2j equals sin theta. We can write e raised to j theta. It looks like e raised to j theta. This component is the theta. E raised to j theta minus e raised to minus j theta divided by 2j divided by we have j. It could be 2 sin theta. Therefore, it can be represented as 2 sin theta. Theta is beta L by 2 sin theta. Now you bring these two, the numerator to the denominator. We can write the 2 as j beta L by 2 sin theta. So it can be written as this is 0 L, because we have multiple the L with the numerator and denominator. So that L is 1, and then the here beta L by 2, here beta L by 2 sin theta. So it will be sin of beta L by 2 sin theta divided by beta L by 2 sin theta. So it looks like a sync pulse, that is the form of sin x divided by x. It is a very familiar function that is called sync function. After the normalization means just u divided by the magnitude. Now this sine of beta L by 2 sin theta and beta L by 2 sin theta, this is f of theta. So the magnitude of the expressor, it has the following radiation pattern. The polarization of the far field electric field is tangent of the aperture electric field direction y cap onto the far field sphere in the pi equals 90 degree, that is on the observation plane, which is the theta component, and there is no pi component. So in this case, which this far field pattern which has only the theta component, which has no pi component. The problem is really two-dimensional rather than three-dimensional. Equivalently, the aperture is one-dimensional rather than two-dimensional. Therefore, the complete electric field will not be given by these equations. The spherical wave behavior e raised to minus j beta r by r is replaced by the cylindrical wave e raised to minus j beta r by root of r, because here it is emanating out of the slit. It is not looks like a spherical wave behavior. It is replaced by the cylindrical wave behavior. However, the one-dimensional Fourier transform as presented here is the correct angular variation pattern. The pattern based on this simple approach agrees well with that of a more rigorous techniques even for a slit of length 0.45 lambda, which is not large electrically. Thank you.